So the first thing we have to do here is we go to the Microsoft Store and search for WSL, Windows Subsystem for Linux. And we're going to install it. I never know what happens if you say no to those things. So we're going to speed this part up. So it's installed, but we have miles to go before we sleep. You're supposed to install Ubuntu next. I end up installing Ubuntu a couple of times, and I've done it before, and I've installed it in the store, I've installed it in the command line, so we end up with a bunch of Ubuntu distributions. Once you have Windows Subsystem for Linux working, the distributions are easy. I just kept thinking it was a missing distribution, and that was the problem. And so I kept installing them, but turns out that was not the problem. But this one is going through the store, and so I think that's a pretty convenient and easy way to do it. So I put it on the start menu. You think this is going to work, isn't it? Here we go. Look at that. Just start Ubuntu. And then bloom. So what you're going to see is me doing a lot of research on another computer and editing it all out, looking at all these codes here and figuring it all out and trying it again and figuring more out. So it turns out you do have to enable this in the Windows features. Got to enable that. And that was not enabled. So we're going to restart the computer now. I have a really cool recorder that records everything from the HDMI, and so I get all that stuff. So we're going to try to start it, and we get another error. So away we go. And now again, more research, etc., guessing, trying to type commands in the command line. There's just a lot of guessing. This WSL command, I think you can do it all from the WSL command, but I had not yet found the thing I'm doing wrong. So I'm just taking things from online and throwing them up against the wall to see what fits. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. So I think I'm gonna try to install another different Ubuntu distribution, which will accomplish absolutely nothing. And at this point, I'm kind of wasting time and lost in space. Nothing seems to work. Yeah, I think it was necessary. But you might find some of these commands useful, so that's why I did it. There we go. Again, now you'll see I got more Ubuntus in there, but it still doesn't work. So I'm guessing perhaps a restart will clean things up. Sometimes it does, right? And it was doing something. So we start back up and let's just run it. And then boom, we get another error message pretty quickly here. But this error message makes a lot of sense. So there's also a setting in Windows for whether virtualization is enabled. So before I was going to go into the BIOS, I figured I would go into turn Windows features on and off, and then it's down there. Scroll. Virtual machine platform. There you see it, but it's already on. So that's fine. Before I rebooted and played with the BIOS, I wanted to make sure that was on. So we're done with that. We don't need to, so it's time to go into the BIOS. So we restart again. Took me a couple times to figure out on my HP that it's F10, so that's all cut out. But eventually we find ourselves in the BIOS. It took me a while to hunt through the BIOS. I cut that all out. finally it's in security, which makes a lot of sense because you don't want like viruses to use virtualization to sneak around and wrap your operating system and steal all your whatever. So you gotta turn this on. I turned them both on. I have no idea if you need to turn them both on, but what the heck? Less security, more convenience. So there you go. So we're gonna save all this and it'll restart up again. And at this point, we're going to switch to live audio. Okay, let's try to start ourselves some Ubuntus. Installing. Here we go. Talk to me. At least it gave me good messages. Change is good. New Unix username. We are in. Are we in? Are we in? Whoa, we are in. PWD. Home CSEP. Where are we? Do we have get? It has get already. Where is the home directory folder? Touch. Sakai. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I go here, it says if I go // WSL $, Ubuntu, what's that? Home, CSEP, and there we are.